Wholeness, 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 everyone. Welcome to Runes of Silvertree. Thank you so much for visiting with me and joining me in our Wednesday talk, spiritual talk. So the title of today's message is Stories and Truths. Okay? Stories and Truths, and using discernment when receiving energy readings. Either that's via online, you're going to an energy worker, spirit worker, energy healer. I mean, name them, they're there, okay? Now, I present myself as Runes of Silvertree. Okay, I use this social media platform to share my passion for spirit, and I do my rune energy readings with my runes, and I use my own divination tools. But I think this is incredibly important, and I think it's something I want to really double down on, because again, like, yeah, I have a very small numbers, if you will, but I know that the right message will choose the right person, and the right person will choose the right message, and I'm not worried at all. This will flow and be received however it should be. And again, I am just a conduit and a channeler of source, and so let's get into it. So the stories, what are the differences between stories and truths when someone is giving you an energy reading? You must understand one thing, okay? You can only discern what is for you. Source will use your reality, okay, that's just an extension of your own consciousness, to mirror back to you what you need. It is up to you to receive, or to be receptive or open enough to receive these transmissions, downloads, guides, or help, okay? If the help or guide, okay, comes in the form of a human being, you must remember to be sovereign, okay? That you are a sovereign being, and to use your discernment. Because a lot of what I find especially with technocracy and the technocrats, I'm gonna say, if you're using a device to reach an audience and to reach the human collective, you are a technocrat. You're using these devices to serve a personal agenda, but you must understand that there's a bigger agenda being served as well, okay? The microcosm and macrocosm, all right? We're all serving something. And so when you're tuning into an energy reader, or readers tuning into you, just know that you must be in tune with the heart of the situation, right? Because here's the thing with energy readings, okay? When you reach someone or tune into someone that's giving you an energy reading, whether through tarot cards, oracle cards, Corey shells, through runes, oh gosh, what else do people use? A crystal ball, through tea leaves. There's so many beautiful and unique forms of divination and prophesizing, okay? Know that you must understand and understand the differences between a story and a truth. A story has a beginning, middle, and end, okay? It's a beautiful image. Think of a tarot card, okay? Usually when someone pulls up one tarot card, they can build a whole story around that, of probability, you know, of what could happen if you go this way, what could happen if you go that way, or this is what's happening now, right? This is what's happening to you now, and then they hook you in and they say, okay, you know, this is what could happen, and this is what has happened in the past, and all these timelines, okay, they're just potential timelines. They're not, it should never be fixated, It should never be a fixated thing where the result's already made and they wrap it up in this pretty little bow and say, hey, don't worry, this is exactly how it's going to unfold. You can choose that story or not. Be very careful, right? Because there's a difference between, you should be able to tell, like, okay, this is a story, this is an interpretation of a potential outcome. A truth is different. A truth you already know, and it's being validated and it's being confirmed through the energy reader. That's it. That is something you already know. And either you're ignoring source's red flags and so source brings a reader to you, and for that reader to reiterate what you are trying to avoid or try to run away from, or it's something that source has showed you and that person happens to be in the same frequency and they reveal what you already know. And so you're like, yes, a truth feels like a yes, even if it's a result that you don't necessarily want or need. Just again, as a reminder to you, always know that everything's working for you. The universe is working for you and with you. And if you find that you are in the space of resistance with that, you're fighting you're fighting, right? You're putting up a battle to something that it's already unfolding. Okay? Remember, all is well and everything is unfolding as it should. So know when you're listening to prophesizers, oracles, people that are gifted, have the gift of gab, right? They have a very active throat chakra, or they they use their cards, or even with me, with the runes, and I spread them and I give my interpretation of the symbols that are on the the womb of all creation, my little wooden palette. And you just have to understand, stories are kind of a form of entertainment, but it can also, I like stories as well, because stories can help connect the dots, right? A lot of us are seekers and we want answers to those missing holes, those missing puzzle pieces. And so when and I usually study, I used to study a lot of YouTubers. I used to, and I still do from time to time. I'll check into some, but I don't just follow one person and then make their story my truth. That is dangerous. That is so incredibly dangerous. Don't do that. You have to take everything with a grain of salt, and you have to make sure that you vet, that you filter, that you sit with it in meditation, right? Before I have spent hundreds of dollars, I don't do it very often anymore, going to seers and oracles and prophesizers and readers and all that, because it's something where you have to kind of be your own teacher and be your own guru. Okay? In the words of Gigi Young on YouTube, she's great, all about sovereignty and discernment, and and I kind of side with her and agree with her that we're entering into the stage where it'll be the end of the guru. It's the end of the spiritual teachers, because everyone's going to be one. We're already spiritual teachers, and some of us are very far from being aware and conscious, and others of us are very asleep, right? But we're all teaching and learning from each other. So in my personal view, I don't feel that there's gonna be this one person, the Messiah, that we all follow. And yeah, I actually am gonna mention Gigi Young as well, and I'll probably put a link down below for you guys to check out her latest video about there being new religions. It's very like neo religions, new age religions are gonna come back very, very strongly, because she mentioned that the further we get into technocracy, the further we get into technology, I call it technocracy. The further we get deeper into technocracy, the further we will realize how far we are from nature and how far we are from our organic self, that everyone's gonna be clamoring for anything spiritual. It's happening now. I mean, they've monetized spirituality, and I don't know how the heck you can do that and turn it into a $1 trillion industry, but that is what they've done. Okay? I'm not poking at anybody who's making any kind of monetary gain from doing energy readings. It is what it is. I still haven't felt that call to charge people by the minute or by the hour, because my readings are very much for the human collective. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is part of the archive, which I'll save that for another big project. Because every time we're feeding, right? We're feeding this thing, but get back on track with the differences between stories and truths. Just make sure that you don't make someone's story, or I'll say interpretation, your truth. Okay? And I might just change the title, because that's when you become blinded and lost. Because then you're tuning in and tying into someone else's timeline and someone else's frequency, and that's not your life path at all. You have to do self-study. You have to be alone. You have to deal with the frequency of aloneness and what that truly means. So yeah, like it's, and I'm gonna make a video on, tarot cards and stuff like that, because I have my own strong opinions about it. And even though I use divination tools, all of them are organic. And what do I mean by that? I'll save that for another video. You have to be, the fewer the spiritual tools you use, the better. Okay? Like, yes, there are moments where, you want to buy 20 different tarot cards and study them all. Okay, study, right? Or you want to get 500 different pieces of crystal, all right? Study it. You want to study the energy of wood, get everything wood. You want to study the energy of fire, work with candle. You want to study the energies of water and all this other stuff, study it. Be a master. You are the alchemist, right? So do that and be that for a while. But then there's going to be a moment where you're going to have to walk away from the crystals. You're going to have to walk away from the tarot. You're going to have to walk away from seeing into the future or prophesizing different timelines, because that's all it is, really. Okay? You have psychics that are able to, or energy workers that are able to tune into certain frequencies and consciousness that are happening simultaneously with this one, and they can tune into the one that's truly in alignment of where you're at right now, and then that's where they can tell you things, right, that that they shouldn't know, but they do, because they're able to tune into specific timelines. But that's not the only timeline, because you have pure potentiality, which is an ever evolving and it's there's so many different outcomes. There's millions and trillions. If you can think of it, it exists. Okay? If you can think of it, it already exists. So, be careful of making other people's truths your truth. That's something I will keep repeating. Be careful, because then that opens up the door to the illusion of separation, which I believe I made a video on one of my rune readings about that, the illusion of separation, and how this is me, that's them, and look at them below, they're so asleep, they're so not woke, and look, we're ascending and we're special and we're the chosen ones. Like, nope. No, you have to destroy that sin, that you have to let that go. Illusions, man. Okay? Because the world has its games, and you have to know that you're part of it, regardless of how spiritual or woke or conscious or new agey or organic or natural you think you claim to be. It's still part of a role that you're playing. okay, that you're part of. Everything is connected, every little thing. So I will leave you with that. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's message, Wednesday message, and I hope you're enjoying my runes, my rune readings. And yes, I will see you next week. Thank you so much. Take care.